What's going on, guys? My name is Derek. Welcome to my channel and the next episode of my Panigale V4 Speciale build. Today we are installing our oil cooler and radiator guards. So as I mentioned before, while all the fairings and everything were off, this bike doesn't have any oil cooler and radiator guards, and it doesn't take much for a stone or something to fly up under here, hit the radiator or oil cooler, and end your day completely. Both of these items, oil cooler and radiator, are both expensive items. And if you can get a piece of metal with holes in it in between there to protect it from hitting rocks and things like that, from going through your radiator and ending your ride, you should do that. So I did. These happen to be the inexpensive ones from eBay. I think I want to say I paid 40 or 50 bucks from these. If you want to get the Evo Tech ones or the ALO ones or whatever, that's on you. In my opinion, as long as these mounted properly and prevented rocks from going through the radiator, that's fine. These are not an aesthetically pleasing thing that I'm worried about people seeing. It's behind the wheel and under this area here, so I'm not concerned. This is purely functional for me. This is meant to stop stones and things from going through my radiator and oil cooler. If you want to spend the $100, $200 on the Evo Tech ones and the more expensive ones, I think they even make them in titanium, which is insane because, again, it's just meant to be hit by rocks. Then that's on you. Go right ahead. But got these on eBay for, like I said, for like 50, maybe 60 bucks or something like that. And we are going to go ahead and install them right now. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know that there is a video out there on a, I think it's a V4 Street Fighter, where someone was installing the oil cooler guards. Now, you know, the Street Fighter and this bike are pretty much the same. That Street Fighter is pretty much a naked version of this bike. But the process and what you're doing here is very, very similar. Now, there's some additional brackets and so forth that the Street Fighter has that this bike doesn't have. And I think this bike is actually a little bit easier than the Street Fighter because there's less to remove. And we have it already off here to begin with. But if you wanted to check that out, I highly recommend it. Very detailed. He goes through everything step by step. But it's not on a V4 Speciale or a V4S or anything like that. It's a Street Fighter. So the brackets and things here are a little bit different. But fantastic video. There's another one that I watched as well, where an owner did this, and good Lord. I feel for that guy because it was clear that he normally doesn't work on his bike. And I don't say he gave up. He did finish the job, but by the end, he was like, just take it to your dealer. Just, oh my God, it was so much a hassle. And he was working on a V4S. And he was like, just take it to your dealer. It's not worth the hassle. Well, I disagree because there are only literally like 1, 2, 3, 4. There may be 5 or 6 bolts on either side that you need to remove to do this. And I understand that everyone doesn't have a table lift to make their life easier, although you should if you're turning wrenches on your bike. But if you're going to give up and take your bike to the dealer to do this, expect to spend anywhere from $500 to $600 to do this. And all they're going to do is take off all your fairings and things, make room, and then slide this thing in between your cowl here and your radiator and your oil cooler, and they're going to charge you a ton of money. So I think that, again, this was 50, 60 bucks for me. I think by saving yourself $400 to $600, it's well worth the effort. So anyway, let's get started. You can see I have my trusty chesty cam on with my DJI Osmo Action. What's recording what I'm looking at right now is my Sony a6000 mirrorless camera, and I have my somewhat reliable GoPro Hero 7. So let's get started. We're on the right side of the bike. And again, the goal here is to separate the cowl from the radiator and the oil cooler. And the way to do that is there are a few bolts that we should be able to loosen up, and then we should be able to separate them. So there's a bolt here that we need to remove. There's one here, which is a bracket, and then there's one here at the bottom of the fan. There's another one just under there that we need to remove. And that's about it for bolts. And the same thing on the other side. Now, there are a couple of pins. So there's a pin here at the bottom of the oil cooler so that we need to pull this down off the grommet. and then there's one up here on top of the radiator, and the same thing on the other side. So the goal is here to loosen up everything so that we can get ourselves enough room to pull this down and to pull this one up, separate the two, and then we can slide everything in where we need to. But again, we have a number of 4 mil and 3 mil Allen keys to do that with. So let's get started. So move you back. So we're going to start with the top here, and this is 4 mil. Make sure I'm going the right way. Remove you. Don't lose this little washer. We have this one here, which is 4 mil. Hopefully I get all this on camera this time. I have this one here. $4 mil, and there goes my furnace kicking on. So hopefully that's not a pain in the butt. And before I put this down, let's go around on the other side, and we'll do the same thing there. So again, we'll start here, 4 mil, and hopefully you guys can see that. Here. Here, right here. This nut right here, and the same on the other side. I think that's about an 8 mil. I know I said that last time in my video. I don't know why 8 mil is sort of stuck in my head. And guess what? I was right. So let's go over here and do the same thing with this one. Should be able to get the rest of it out of here without much trouble. There. And I actually got the other screw from the other side as well. All right, so now as you can see, we have some movement with things here. Stuff is moving all over the place a little bit. I'm going to pull, there's a little, this bracket here that holds, looks like the ABS pump and so forth to the lower, so right here. So it looks like there's a bracket here that holds the ABS pump to the oil cooler. So I'm just going to pull this off there like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to make some space. So we're going to pull down very easily on the shroud to get it off the bottom pin on the oil cooler. And then once that's off, we can do the same thing on the top. We can lift everything up and slide it off. So let's see how we do here. This should be good, like that. Yeah, okay, so I'll sort of push up and pull down. There we go, it's off, nice and easy. And over here we're going to, hopefully you guys can see that, we're going to push the radiator down while pulling the bracket up. All right, let's go and get the other side. And we're off on this side. Let me grab the GoPro, because I know you probably can't see it on my chest cam. But you can see we're off on this side here. So we have good separation on the top there. And I think we're just about off on this side as well. There we go. This top one was being a pain in the ass. All right, so now we got enough separation. We should be able to get things up in there. This is where the help of a friend would really come in handy. All right. So it looks like it's good right about there. So I'm going to start to slide these things back in. Now what's kind of tricky, I wouldn't say hard, is maneuvering the radiator into place. There we go. Or the radiator guard, I'm sorry. That is kind of tricky. There's no good way to explain how to do that other than to just work at it until you get it where it's supposed to be. Okay, so the radiator guard, as you can see, is in position. We got the pin back on the top. We're not going to worry about any of this stuff yet, but let's slide the oil cooler guard in place. We'll put you back over here where you were. Let me show you these things. So on the oil cooler guard, these sides go inside these ribbings here, not on the outside. So it looks like they have these hooks here on the edge. These don't loop around on the outside. These both go inside and it's sort of pressed together and held together. So FYI. We'll put this right here so you guys can see. There we go. There we go. So that one is on, that one is on, and in place. All right. So we will start the reinstall by taking our 8 little, as I drop it again, this one doesn't want to stay with me. We'll take our 8mm nut here, and we'll reinstall it. There we go. So you can see we got it started here. I'm just going to spin it on a little bit like that. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll try to have a little bit more room here. There we go. Spin that on. Grab our 4mm Allen. And it looks, we did. There was some Loctite on that one, so it looks like it was red, but I'm going to use blue. Blue Loctite. Here we go. Actually, that one goes on the side. This one goes here. It did not have any Loctite on it. All right. That one in. Now this one on the side here. Get everything lined up. I don't think I'm lined up. There we go. And then up top here. What you guys probably can't see, but I'll do my best. All right, there we go. So everything on this side is done. Everything is hand tight. I don't have the torque specs for these. So I'm just going to do to what I think is appropriate, but feel free to look them up. All right. So the first one we're going to do is right here. This guy. Get it started. Next one is this one. And I've already put some blue Loctite on there. This guy here. And then the one at the very top up here. All right, so now we are all on there. Our radiator guards are in place. Now we can tighten up everything. There. There we go. And then this one in here. All right, let's go do the exact same thing on the other side. So over here, 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 and there. Although that one I don't feel like is all the way in. That one is not. All right, double and triple checking everything. All right, I think we're done. Now, my kit came with this little styrofoam with adhesive backing. I didn't use it. I assume it's made to slide in between it to create some pressure and stop rattling. I don't think I'm going to need it for rattling. If it does, then at some point later, I'll take those, take the fairings off and slide this in here somewhere, but otherwise, so I think we are done with this quickie episode, guys. I am Derek. This is Euro Superbike Life. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, or smash the video if you're into that kind of thing. Click the bell so that you get updates on all of my future upcoming videos. And until next time, guys, take care.